stand approved. We need a motion to approve the agenda, or amend it.
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda.
Second.
Second.
Just saying, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Leon is not coming. Leon's didn't feel like coming. Leon is having radiation treatments, and this is today was his 7th one. He's got 3 more. Not doing too well. But, Boards of Special Boards. Peggy?
Well, I had in your packet the financial reports, pretty much again the same this month. We're staying steady, a little over 1.9. We'll have some very large expenditures going out this month. We made our final payment on the Rawlings building. We'll have some big payments coming in as we finish up our City Hall project. So, and last couple of months I've kind of said that and keep expecting a big change, and each month it's come back at 1.9.
Yeah.
So hopefully it'll continue.
We bought the Rawlings building for $500,000, $50,000 a year at no interest for 10 years. The last payment being an odd payment.
It's an odd payment, yeah.
46 or 5 or something, and so that's the last payment. So we won't have any more payments on the brick portion. Suzanne. For the most part, we go by Robert's Rules of Order, and the change in adoption of minutes is a permitted change. The other change will be at the end of the meeting. I will say if there's no further business, we'll adjourn, and that's all that's required. We don't have to vote on that. If we have more business, if we were going to go into close, then we need to vote to go into close. If we're going to come out of close, we ought to vote to go back into open. And if there's no further business in open, we don't really have to vote to do that if there's no further business. So I'll change it to that when we get to it. So those are, the only way you really know about Robert's Rules of Order is it takes a lifetime to learn about it. And I saw Wes Davis the other day, and I said, "You still study Robert's Rules of Order?" He said, "Oh yeah." He said, "I've got the revised book." I said, "Do you know all there is to know about it?" I got some kind of an ugly comment. Sounded like his dad. So it's complicated, but not what we use. It's not. City Hall. Well, I talked a little bit, and I don't know that Suzanne heard it all, but trying to get Jennifer's side as ready to go as we can. Jennifer's desk is there. I'm not sure how Rhonda's going to operate. She's not going to have a desk up there, but she's got all this counter, which leaves more room for file cabinets. I don't know, we're going to have room. Part of it is trying to decide how to use the room we've got. And we'll have to be up there a while to adjust. So, for the most part, we're using that vault in the back for supplies, toilet paper and copy paper and stuff. The storeroom of Rhonda's, we've got shelves in it, and that's going to be boxes of stuff we keep. We've made extra room in the rock building, and we'll get down there and work on that in time. And we'll only keep in the bank those things that they need to refer to on some kind of a regular basis. File cabinets will also, the record room, I think, will also be in the main vault. Things they don't need too often. That vault big, that's big. And that floor looks good, and he put a board in it, and he's put the vinyl trim around the bottom, so it looks good. So I started yesterday asking Jennifer, do you have 2 cash registers? Do we have it here? How about the software? How about, because we want to be able on the 25th day of this month, if Art pulls up to pay his utility bill, we've got to, I can't think of anything worse than being in the business of selling something, not being able to take a payment for it. You got to be able to take the money. So Money's what drives this whole ship, so we've got to be ready, to do that. So we had all of that. So I called a company by the name of Tiedemann who came down to look over everything to be sure it worked, and lo and behold, the canister thing that throws the canisters out and brings it back does not have power to it. So it's been disconnected somewhere because it had power to it when we started. So he's coming back on Thursday. The Tiedemann man will come back on Friday, and he's bringing with him the alarm man because they also had the alarm system. And he's got some locks. You've got 2 stations at the window. All 3 drawers have locks. These 3 drawers will have 1 set of locks, or 1 key. These 3 drawers will have the other. He's got to replace these. All of the interior doors will use the same key. And the inside of the office doors will just be a thumb turn, just a deadbolt, and that's all that we need. And the same thing's going to be true of the front and back doors. The back door will use the same key as the front, but on the end, it's not going to be keyed on both sides. The indoor key will just be a deadbolt when we get that done. Tomorrow, I'll try to get a hold of Lisa about our hours and so forth on the doors, windows and doors. Gary Lakey, I talked to Gary. We're needing to have a shelf built underneath where you would wait on a walk-in utility customer. We need a little shelf underneath for the cash drawer. And Gary will do that for us. He'll either do it tomorrow, or if he doesn't get it tomorrow, he thinks that the council thing will be ready maybe Friday or Monday. In which case, when he's there, then he'll look at the drawer for Jennifer. And we're pretty much doing it the way Jennifer wants it. And it's a lot easier that way. Let's see, what else have we got going up there, Suzanne?
Just took everything out today that's overstocked.
Yeah, he was talking about taking stuff out and putting it in the vault, and I said, no, we're not using it. That's not the kind of storage. If it's stuff that goes, if it's extra stuff for us, let us just take it out now so we don't have to carry it twice. And so we got most of the extra tiles, extra floor tiles are in that, and those kinds of things are going to go in Rick's building. Not down here, but in Rick's building. We need all the space we can squeeze out of this building. Just case after case after case of stuff. Some of that stuff can't ever be given away. Some of it's 50 years. Some of it,
Did they get all their ceiling tiles in the offices?
they're replacing, yeah, they're down to my office, but they've replaced all of the office ceilings. Now it looks a lot better. And then Jennifer looked up at the tiles on the entrance. And I think what we'll do is tomorrow I'll go down. We've got some extras. And he said the extras were the best of the worst. And it may be that we can look at those. And Jennifer suggested maybe the school would do it for us. We'll see. They just need to be painted white.
Which tile?
In the entrance where those globes are hanging. And if we can get those spray painted white and use some of the tiles, the new ceiling tiles, because you got a little space like that on this side, and redo them, it'll make a big difference at the end. Honestly, I hadn't even looked up, except today we were looking, those globes, 2 of them have the bulb out. So that brought attention to the ceiling. The ceiling looks pretty rough compared to the rest of the ceiling. So. I think that's about most of what's going on. I talked to Ron Grennan today. He's going to be in the last of this week, the first next week, and get our system in and ready to go. We'll have 4 phone numbers which have been assigned, just odd numbers assigned by CenturyLink, and he'll get our regular numbers ported over into our system Monday morning. The system he wanted to use there, he hasn't been able to use because of lack of communication with Mike Bristol. He could not get Mike to do that. And he said if the time comes when Mike gives us that, whatever that information is, then he'll convert our system to the something. Anyway, so the phone system's coming. Josh is, CenturyLink's been there, so we've got everything ready. We'll use we're gonna use MediaCom and internet. So we will have a safety meeting either, I'm gonna guess the first of next week. And that'll give me a chance to talk to everybody and tell them I'd like to have 10 guys volunteer, probably for both Saturday and Sunday. Depending on how we're doing on Saturday, we may wait till after church on Sunday to start. We can just kind of see how that goes. We're gonna move desks. We'll move Peggy's desk and Suzanne's and mine. That's the only 3 left.
I think so.
We'll move those desks and chairs up. And then we'll move individual computer up. And then we'll let Josh hook us up. But we're gonna get desks and chairs there first. And then we'll worry about file cabinets, and then we'll come back and we'll start moving files. We're already moving some files and stuff. We've got shelves in the storage room. We're gonna have some shelves built in the supply room. Shelves on both sides. Just all little stuff, mostly. Except for the power to the drive-through, that's not well. All of our outside light bulbs have been replaced. We don't have the open sign working yet at the drive-through. Marvin and Carl put asphalt all across the south side. Gotta keep the water out. I still need to get a hold of Jim and have Jim redo the box on that pole or somebody, whatever that box is, because we think that's where the water, some of that water may be getting in. It's coming through that conduit.
Yeah.
And if that doesn't do it, then we're not gonna dig it out. So,
How much went through the last time?
the conduit,
I mean, out in the floor in the
Not-
equipment room.
not,
Not very much. I was there yesterday afternoon and I didn't see very much evidence of water coming in.
no, it's not much. Not much, and it may be putting that asphalt up there will
Hopefully.
stop a lot of it. We will reserve, just a little thing, we'll probably reserve the outer lane. We talked about we'll probably reserve that outer lane for Joe and Justin and park there and run in and run out. The parking space up with the gas tank we'll probably reserve for Rhonda so that she has the shortest distance to walk. And the rest we'll fight for those along the wall. And I think as long as we have at least 5 parking spaces out front, I mean, we'll just have to see, we'll be all right. Encourage the guys when they turn in timesheets, get the timesheet turned in, turn it in, and get out. If they're wanting to come in and visit, then they're gonna need to park. We will put some rock up there.
Oh, up above.
Up above, yeah. And we're used to just parking in front and running in, and that's gonna be unhandy. But that's, you know, the people who come in to pay the bills have got to have the first priority. So that's about where we are in the building. We're close. It's just all little bitty stuff. There's plenty of that. But we did sign the contract with Delta. They required 30% down, and I wrote back and said, we don't want to pay 30% down until you get ready to do the job. And they They agreed that was all right. So, you know, it may be April. I don't wanna pay 30% down now. So, Peggy and I talked about it, and so I went ahead and signed it, and we sent it in. No, Friday maybe, that Friday. So that's done. I had a call from Lance Stillings, presiding commissioner, and one of the worst roads the county's got is going to the golf course. Did we talk about that?
No. But I agree with
And
you.
I've been on that road, and man, it is a humdinger. It's been, had asphalt on it, and there's a hole every 12 inches in that thing.
They graded it.
And of course, you've got a lot of people travel that road.
I mean,
You got some
really
nice
graded.
homes out in there, and so I suspect they've had conversations with Lance about the road. And he asked if we might be willing to help. And anyway, I said, yeah, we would. But I said, what are you talking about? Well, maybe a little asphalt. He said, let me kind of get things together on it. And he said, I'll get back with you. And I said, okay. So that's where we are on that. Is that a county road? Yes, it's a county road. There's not any question about it. Do the people who live out the end of that road trade in Ava? Yes. They pay taxes in Ava? Yes. Sales tax. So that's kind of a Buddy Norman deal. I can justify doing something we shouldn't do with saying that. But it's not
Buddy was always good to the golf course.
Well, it's
Because he felt like we needed it.
well, and he used the golf course to show off the town. He came out and drove down in there and he said, look, this golf course, of course, it's pretty.
There's a lot of cities that own the golf course, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, you don't see that unless you have somebody in the car and you can drive out there. That's true. So anyway, that's where we are on the golf course road.
Is that just the road on the south side of the
Well,
golf course? What about the one on the west end?
It's the one on the west one you're talking about, ain't it?
I'm talking about the one on the west, but he may also want to come around and come back down toward,
The football field.
And I said, well, let's see what you're talking about. It's also traveled a lot, so, he just hadn't been back with me.
Marvin was in today and thought that the culvert needed to be replaced over there by the Duckworth farm again, like a.
Gosh, we just put those in.
He thought maybe that
6 or
that's where
7
they
years
needed to work on that.
You're talking about by the treatment plant?
No, you're talking about, you go to the football field and you go all the way down to the road. And right there is about the dividing line between the city property and Randy Duckworth's, just a little bit west of that intersection. Well, the rain comes down the road this way, and the rain comes down the hill from Randy's especially, and it was washing out real bad. And it would have been about 6 or 7, somewhere in there. The guys went out and put new whistles under the road, and of course Randy wasn't happy with it, but actually he had less water drainage on his land after it was over, and got where it didn't wash. They did good. I can't believe we needed to. I mean, they were big whistles.
So it just filled in, is that the?
I don't know.
We'll have to ask him.
I'll have to go out there and look. It's the first I've heard of it. So that was about it with Lance. The other thing is the Potter property, and I'll mention it. We've pretty well dealt with it. The agreement was that on the last day of December, that whole property, all the way back east, would be cleaned up. And it was almost done on time. It doesn't matter, he got it. It was I think the first of the year before they did it. I haven't been back over there to look, but it all was cleaned up satisfactorily, except on the very back there were 2 flatbed trailers. I don't know if they're still back there. Have you been over in there?
I have not seen the trailers. I just noticed the couch springs were still in. Nothing.
Yeah, they burned the couch where it was.
They were there this afternoon cleaning, doing something
Yeah.
too.
But anyway, they got the stuff out of there and put up some signs that shouldn't have been put up, but that was taken care of with Reggie and Terry, with Larry, and the Yost did that. So anyway, as far as I know, and as far as Reggie and all of us know, everything's fine with that, finally. So, everybody's got the court docket. Was there anything else? Peggy? Anything? If everybody's looked at the court docket, we need to approve that. Court docket for 11/20.
I'll make a motion to approve it.
Okay, second?
I'll second the motion.
Second, all in favor? Reggie, did you have anything
No.
for close? We thought we were gonna have, but we do not. So, did you get anything? Unless, if there is no further business, we will adjourn.
Peace has prevailed. Peace has prevailed.